What's going on, everyone? So what a wild trade deadline this far. We are now hours away to the end. You know how it goes, right? Usually the last 10 minutes, it's just like, whoom, right? So buckle in, strap in, and get ready for just a flood of trades. Seeing little small ones. I don't know what kind of other major swing trades are going to happen, right? I mean, you got Luka, you got De'Aaron Fox, you got Jimmy Butler, you got Brandon Ingram. I mean, all the big names. I mean, obviously Luka came out of left field, but all the other big names were all very predictable, right? We all knew that they were going to get traded at some point, and they all did. So that was interesting. Probably going to be a lot of minor trades, little just small action, hey, our vet guy for your vet guy type thing. But still, there should be some traction, some excitement. And then us, obviously, as Laker fans, we're all on our toes right now going okay, what's the next big move? What's the next big surprise? Because every 10 minutes since the first, it's just been bam, 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 bam. But just scouring through the news and just to give kind of a last little minute update for everybody. And then also I want to kind of give my opinion on what I think will happen. And of course I want to hear yours, so let me know down in the comments below. But it appears that Lakers are still trying to make moves, still trying to make, doesn't appear to be anything major. But again, Luka came out of left field, Mark Williams came out of left field. So what we think might not happen very well could happen. So, I wouldn't rule anything out. But beyond that, right, it appears that Lakers are definitely trying to get off of Maxi Kleber. They're trying to see if they can turn him into anything or if they can clear salary or whatever, right? That's kind of the plan here. That's kind of the move. Outside of other guys, it appears that the Lakers are they want to keep the rotation intact unless, again, something crazy happens, some other piece becomes available and it's oh, wow, okay, let's go do that. But so for the most part, guys like Rui, Austin Reeves, even Gabe Vincent very likely could end up staying Lakers through the trade deadline, which, I'm fine with, right? We have been so blessed this trade deadline, if we're being honest. I mean, to get Dorian Finney-Smith and Shake Milton was surprising in and of itself. This whole trade deadline's just been filled with surprises, right? Because it's you go and you get Dorian Finney-Smith is headed to Memphis, it looks like, right? And then boom, all of a sudden Lakers traded for him, and you were wait, whoa, time out, whoa, no way, right? And then you had Shake Milton in the mix too, so it was oh, you got another versatile combo guard that could do multiple things out there on the basketball court. Perfect, right? Veteran guy. He was coming off of a double with 12 assists and then an 18-point game. And then we saw Shake Milton give us an 18 or was it 21-point game, right? So that was great. And then obviously the Luka trade, where it's just wow, okay, all right, I still can't believe that happened, right? Seeing him in a Laker jersey in the press conference, it still feels like a fever dream. And then the big Mark Williams trade was the Lakers really got their franchise center. Lakers really got that monster on the interior. Beautiful, right? So Lakers have already, even if the Lakers just don't do another thing, at least one more move's coming because the buyout, right? They freed up a roster spot. So bare minimum, they're bringing in a guy to fill out that 15th spot. But beyond that, it is very possible that the Lakers, because if they can't find anything for Kleber, you might end up having to keep him, which is fine. So this would put the Lakers in really good position, right? Even going into next season, because the Lakers don't have a bunch of picks, right? Lakers don't have a bunch of firsts or anything like that going forward. So their value is going to be in expiring contracts, which Gabe Vincent, Rui Hachimura, if you keep Maxi Kleber, these are all guys, you're talking almost $40 million in expiring salary that you'd have between those three to go get other moves. And we've seen the Brooklyn Nets, for example, expiring contracts are going to be very valuable. They're not, obviously people want firsts and seconds and swaps and stuff like that with it. But, there are, we've seen deals where it was just hey, let's just do this and cash consideration or whatever, where there hasn't been these major swaps or anything crazy, right? So the Lakers having these expiring contracts due to the new CBA really could have its value in and of itself, to where you might be able to go and leverage that into another piece. Or, if you want to sign a guy in the offseason, you might be able to just kind of dump him on somebody because they're like, hey, we'll take Rui for free, right? Something like that. Or we'll take Kleba for free, right? So there's options, there's flexibility in that regard. Obviously, Lakers would be limited going forward unless, some other things happen, but it is a good spot to be in. But I think this trade deadline, these next few hours, I think if anything happens, it'll be like very minor stuff. If they even get back anybody, right? I think the Lakers either go down 2 paths. I think they either they trade Kleba. I think no matter what happens, they're going to try to get off of Kleba, right? I think they'll trade Kleba, and it'll just be like a pure salary dump, right? Like a team like Detroit, like, hey, we'll give you our last second to take on Kleba. He's out for probably the year, but he'll be an expiring contract for you next year, and he's a veteran guy that many teams would love to have in the league, right? So not only are you getting a second here, you're probably going to get another second or two next season in the offseason or at the trade deadline. Right, so you might be able to sell them on that idea, or it'll be something where, you're doing like a Kleba for Cody Martin, or you're doing a Kleba for a Day'Ron Sharpe or something like that, right? Like I don't think we're gonna get another 2, 3, 4 guys, anything like that, and if we do, it's likely just role guys, probably for depth purposes, right? It's more of hey, let's get this guy and this guy. That could be our 9th, 10th guy, something like that, right? Because you look at the Lakers rotation, right? You got Luka, LeBron, now Mark Williams, Dorian Finney-Smith, Austin Reeves, right? You got Rui Hachimura, Jared Vanderbilt, right? You can't start going down the list here. You have already a solid 7, 8 guys, 9 guys. Gabe Vincent, right? So you have about 8 to 9 really higher end rotation guys, nice balance offensively, defensively, nice little versatility in that regard. So really, if anything, you're looking at probably that buyout spot, and if you can turn Kleba into anything. Obviously, again, I don't want to undersell because you never know, right? At any moment something could get done. But it's just, again, Lakers are very limited. They have 2 pick swaps left and a second. I imagine that the Lakers go finish the trade deadline with probably bare minimum a pick swap or 2. Because I imagine Lakers are going to want to, especially in the offseason or maybe even next trade deadline, they're going to want to have something to where they may be able to pivot and make another move or two. Because you look at it like this, right? Let's say Lakers win the championship this year, right? Beautiful, which they, trust me, they very well could, right? Lakers win the championship this year. Now it's okay, well, now you're good. You're just kind of upgrading around the margins, right? Don't break up your main core, right? But you're just kind of upgrading around the margins, right? Can you go get a Bruce Brown in the offseason? Can you go get a Day'Ron Sharpe in the offseason? Can you go get whoever, right? Whatever free agents are available, right? Can you grab these guys to add to the core so now you're even better, you're even deeper, so you can kind of weather the season and then get to the playoffs healthy and then go for that back-to-back? Or the alternative is the Lakers fall short. And if they fall short, they're probably only a piece or 2 away from, again, being champions, right? So now if you fall short, then it's okay, well, if you don't have pick swaps, yeah, you have expiring contracts, but it'll be a lot harder to get that guy unless it's a higher end guy where a guy just wants to get off the salary, where a team just is man, we could salary dump this guy. If Chicago could have gotten a bunch of expiring contracts, could the Lakers have maybe pulled off that deal? But it's just we're not getting any assets and we got to hold on to these guys for another year or so, right? Something like that. Again, I'm just using that as an example because it was a sizable contract, sizable salary, right? It's could that have maybe gotten done? Obviously, in hindsight, right? You don't want something like that, but I'm just using that as an example, right? Could maybe you find a team that's willing to do that, where it's oh man, we could get this kind of higher end guy, LeBron said he's supposedly willing to give up a discount, which could free up your full mid-level exception, so that could get you a guy there, right? All of a sudden you get 2, 3, 4 guys. You might be able to kind of consolidate that into like a maybe another higher end guy, but you're likely going to want a pick swap or a second or something like that to get in the mix, to get involved in all that stuff, right? Because Lakers aren't going to have another first open up for a couple years now, right? Like they got like 2 years before another first opens up, so it's going to be a while before they can do that. Now, obviously, there's other creative ways. So like in 2026, you get your pick, right? So Lakers can draft a guy and then after he's been drafted, then send him out. So, like a team, whatever, the Cavs are like, hey, let's do this deal. Okay, perfect. Right? Okay, draft this guy. Okay, perfect. And then you work the deal out after. So there's ways, creativity. You don't have to be creative. And then also just Lakers getting in on other little like minor deals, like being the third team. Like, hey, well, you don't want that guy? We'll take that guy. Right? Solid veteran that can come in. We can get him for nothing. Maybe even get a second in the deal. Right? Again, it's just being creative. Or you find a team that wants Rui and you turn him into assets that then now you can go and pivot and do other stuff. So again, it's just finding creativity. Right? You saw the Suns take a first and turn it into 3. But this trade deadline has been already. I mean, Lakers already got an A++++. I mean, what is it after A? Is S, right? Is that like what some scales are? This was like an S. Okay, like this is ridiculous. So this was huge. This was huge for the Lakers, right? So, but don't expect any major trades. Obviously, if they happen, beautiful. We'll talk about it. We'll go over it. But get under the first apron. That's what I want to see the Lakers do. Get under the first apron. Right, and can you get another center? Can you get like a Day'Ron Sharpe or something? All right, like if you told me you turn Kleber into Day'Ron Sharpe, whether it's straight up or through a 3-team deal, I think Lakers just let's go win a championship, right? Because now you got that backup center, right, and then now you got under the first apron to bring in anybody you want off a buyout. Or I'd like to see the Lakers. Can the Lakers get off of? Can you turn like Jackson Hayes into like? Would a team just take Jackson Hayes, and can you turn Kleber into that center, right? So you can clear another roster spot, right? Like I don't know, things like that. But again, how you feel, whatever your thoughts are, I'd love to hear it. Let me know down in the comments below. That being said, if you haven't liked this video, hit that like button. Helps me a lot. So we enjoy these types of videos. I truly appreciate it. Not subscribe to the channel, hit that subscribe button. Turn on the bell notifications. Appreciate y'all. See you in the next one.